Hello, my name is Matthias Kavodik. Welcome guys to my channel. Today we're going to talk about X Factor issue 40. And I just wanted to focus on this issue for two reasons. One, it was the first time I came across Rob Liefeld's art, who I thought was really awesome. I loved his work. For some reason, his work back then is much better than the stuff he's doing now. And the other thing is, this is actually the first X-Men comic book I ever had. Because back when I was a kid, I was getting into comic books, got my first Spider-Man, New Warriors, Dark Hawk. My dad came across a garage sale. He bought a box of comic books for me. In that box was the first formal X-Men comic book that I had. It was a tie-in into the Inferno. It was the first time I ever saw Mr. Sinister. A ton of other characters, but I always remember Mr. Sinister. And also X Factor issue 40, written by Louise Simonson. And I just really don't understand why Liefeld's art is much better back then than it is now. Maybe he had to conform to the art styles of the time and other artists, and maybe a little bit of editorial mandate, stuff like that. Because his action looks really good. He doesn't have so much issues with perspective either. Like nowadays, you can really tell he's something super basic as perspective. He struggles with it, at least for me. Like the way he draws Beast, Archangel, Marvel Girl, and her hair, it looks really, really good. So in this story, we have X Factor. I was going to say the X-Men having to deal with Nanny and Orphan Maker. Like when I got into comic books during this time, I was really confused that why the original X-Men lineup, because I was collecting the Marvel trading cards and stuff like that, so I knew about the original lineup. Why the original lineup was called X Factor and they're not in the X-Men yet, or going to be, because I started reading right around the time when we were going to get the relaunch of the X-Men series with Jim Lee and Chris Claremont. So I was just really confused. So you have Nanny and Orphan Maker, who their whole gist is to kidnap mutant children. And we have X Factor. They rescued a bunch of babies. I'm not sure if these are the babies that are rescued from the Inferno, or these are rescued by from Nanny herself. Stolen the babies and she's trying to steal them back. Because I didn't check when this particular issue came out, if before or after Inferno. But the thing is, Nanny wants to get her hands on these babies. So she hunts them down, attacks X Factor. Orphan Maker looks really cool. He's like really imposing. Got Archangel with the techno-organic. Oh, I'm not sure if they're techno-organic. I guess they are. Wings that shoot these razor sharp arrows that have neurotoxin and paralyze you. That's like really, really sick power. And he also shoots energy bolts. I had totally forgotten he can do that too. And Liefeld did a fantastic Beast. Like I love the job he did with the hair and the grin and the whole look in general. I really miss 1980s Beast. Like, I always say this, like I always miss the happy-go-lucky Beast. Like I don't like the dark and somber Beast that we have nowadays. I say it every single time. In this battle, and he's present, like Iceman barely appears in this issue. So one cool thing about Archangel too is that he has issues controlling his wings, sort of have a mind of his own. And he attacks Nanny, sort of goes overboard and cuts into and destroys her armor. We get to see Nanny on the inside. We don't know, actually the heroes do. We don't. So it's a mystery how she looks. Again, let's stop 1 second. I love Jean Grey and her look. Like Rob Liefeld's 1980s hair looks perfect. It looks spot on. It just really reminds me of how women used to wear hair and their style back then. So we get the whole origins of Nanny, that she was working for the shadowy anti-mutant organization. At first, she didn't know what was their agenda and why she was building this tech for them. So when she discovers that it's to hunt down mutants, she rebels, and they encase her within this egg-shaped body armor that looks really weird. The organization is called The Right. So that's where we get these smiley, weird robots that popped up a lot during the 80s, especially in the X Factor series. Oh, another thing about the whole battle between Nanny and Orphan Maker fighting X Factor, they're really reckless in the whole battle. Like there's little babies aboard, and Jean Grey has to stop things ricocheting all over the place from killing the kids. So X Factor saves the day, saves the babies, takes Nanny and Orphan Maker to the authorities. We get to see very briefly Freedom Force. I also love Liefeld's design for Mystique. For some reason, Blob doesn't have pupils, looks really weird. But again, like looking at women's bodies, like Liefeld really changed up his style. Like this looks very different to something that he would draw nowadays. Also, another thing, I love the old school X Factor costumes. This is like the third iteration of these costumes. They look really cool, these bodysuits. So that aside, I had a lot of fun with this. Hope you guys liked it. See you guys next time. Bye.